Hello, it's Sonia here with A Pretty Stitch. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time joining me, I'm so happy to have you here. So today is Tuesday, and that means it's Tunisian Tuesday. So we are going to be featuring a stitch pattern. I am using my H hook or 5mm hook, and I have just worsted weight yarn here. It doesn't have a label, so I'm not sure the brand of it, but it is number 4 yarn. So to do this stitch pattern, you will need to chain a multiple of 2. So why don't we chain 14? Okay, so we have 14 chains. Okay, so let's work row 1. So row 1 is our setup row, and we're going to work in the back bump of the chain in the second chain from our hook, and we're going to pull up loops. So this is my preferred method of how I like to get started, of how I like to work in a chain with Tunisian crochet. And if you've never done Tunisian crochet, I do have a complete playlist. So what we're doing is we're just pulling up loops and we're leaving them on our hook. Tunisian crochet is worked in 2 parts. Each row is 2 parts. The first part of the row is the forward pass, which we're doing right now. We are putting our stitches on our hook. In the second part of the row, we will be taking the stitches off of our hook, which is the return pass, and each part equals 1 row. Alright, so there we go. We have our loops on our hook. We are going to work these off. So if you've never done this before, I do have a complete playlist. I'll leave a link in the description box to help you get started. So what we are doing is we're yarning over, we're pulling through 1 loop, which I already did, and now we're yarning over and pulling through 2 for the rest of the row. Alright, so there is row 1. So let's begin row 2. This will be the start of a repeat, and it is a 2-row repeat. Okay, so we are working Tunisian knit stitch all the way across. So if you've never done Tunisian knit, that is in the playlist. So you're inserting your hook through that vertical bar, and we're doing it all the way across. Okay, and then that last stitch that looks like a chain, we're inserting our hook, pulling up a loop. So again, I have 14 loops on my hook, and we're going to do the return pass, yarning over, pulling through 1, yarning over, pulling through 2 for the rest of the row. Alright, so there is row 2. So let's begin row 3. This is the second part of the repeat. So what we're going to do is we're going to work Tunisian simple in the next 2 stitches. We are working a decrease. So we're inserting our hook in those next 2 vertical bars in Tunisian simple. And again, if you don't know that stitch, it's in the playlist. And we're going to pull up a loop. So we've just done a decrease or a together stitch. So now we need to put a stitch back on, because at the end of our row, we are still going to have 14 loops on our hook. So where we're going to work to do that is, so right, you can see how it looks like a little triangle here, and then next to it, it looks like a chain. So that top loop right there, we're going to insert our hook in there. And that will be the increase. So we're just inserting our hook, pulling up a loop. So we put that stitch back on. And we're going to repeat that across. So Tunisian simple, decrease, or together. And then on that top loop, that next of where it looks like a chain, Tunisian simple, and this next top loop there. So we have 2 more of our Tunisian simple loops to go. we just work in that last stitch that looks like a chain. And now we work these off like normal. Yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2 for the rest of the row. Okay, so there is row 3. So what you're going to do is repeat rows 2 and 3 for however long you want your swatch. So we're just working Tunisian knit again all the way across. This for row 4. And then row 5, you're going to repeat row 3. Okay, so here is my swatch. I worked 15 rows. I ended on a row 3. So let's do the bind off. So we're going to work in pattern. So this would be a knit row, so you're just going to bind off and knit. And you just want to make sure you have a nice relaxed hand. So binding off is finishing off your Tunisian crochet project so that it looks its best. And if you've never done bind off before, I do have that in the playlist. And basically it's a combination of working the Tunisian stitch and a slip stitch, a regular slip stitch, which is a crochet stitch. So if you're familiar with doing a slip stitch in crochet, then you will not have any problem doing a bind off stitch. All right, so there we go. And as you can see, this one does curl. It curled so hard it popped off the table. But I do think it's a nice stitch and it works up fairly quickly. It's not one that you have to really think about too hard to do. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and if you did, please like and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching.